I'm 27 and I'm trying to keep myself going every day, and I kind of struggle sometimes. So what is your take on that?
What do you struggle with, brother?
I think just being motivated to get to my end goal. You know, I get
What's your end goal?
out. Honestly, 6 figures, have a big house. I'm being a little materialistic, but
well, that's why you're struggling. Yeah, I mean, I would have bet you couldn't have walked into that more that if I paid you to say what you just said. You're literally the hypothesis I have of why people are unhappy. You just made up an arbitrary goal for yourself based on material things without realizing the second you walk into that home and you make 6 figures, nothing's changed.
Damn, that was... Hey, I mean, I would rather, have someone be honest with me, so.
I'm even better, brother. I'm telling you from the deepest levels of love that you can even imagine. I know you. I've met 1,000 of you. All of them have lost the second they got there. You've been able to turn your perspective to something that's very easy to turn your perspective to. The world is very good at selling this. It's just super not true, bro.
I appreciate it, thank you. And kind of adding to that, what should we do, or like?
Yeah, I mean, I think the alternative to that is focusing on doing things you like.
What advice do you have for someone who's about to turn 30, who has 2 young kids and they're trying to exponentially grow their professional career in this space?
By realizing that patience is your only ally when it seems like it's your biggest foe.
Gotcha.
Right? Like the problem when you're trying to do something fast because of circumstances, right? Imagine, right? You're part of this residency class, 90% of your contemporaries are kids right out of school. That's a framework where immediately you're like, fuck, I'm so behind. Whatever's going through your mind. The problem is when you're trying to speed it up, you trip.
Yeah.
The faster you run, the more likely you're gonna trip. And so it's about the discipline of understanding. First of all, I'm so pumped you're in this program. I've had 2 or 3 people that I've spoken to in the last 6 months who had similar situations where they were quote unquote a different age from the majority of people in the residency class who 18 months later really were like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't have to rush. This was exactly right. Patience is your ally in this, brother. The merit of your work is gonna be the variable of your success, not how fast you politic it. I think one of the things that the world is struggling with is being able to deal with inconvenience. I think it's a real issue. I think it's a real opportunity. We've been programmed, parented, we've been fortunate in a lot of ways in the macro. Obviously, many of us can grow up with difficult situations, but we've demonized the capacity to be inconvenienced. And when I make a commitment, even though I hate going to that meeting or I don't want to do it, I've learned how to tolerate short-term or mid-term inconvenience. That's number 1. Number 2, I'm also very comfortable, similar to the last question, of changing my mind. It's okay to unwind a commitment. As long as you do it graciously. You could walk into the next meeting and say, hey, I need to resign at the end of this year from this committee. I just want to give everyone 9 months. Now you've created a light at the end of the tunnel, which almost weirdly makes you even better those 9 months. You know what I mean? I'd rather you be great on my board for 9 months or committee than be below average for 3 years. So I think it's a balance of willing to deal with inconvenience and also willing to graciously change your mind. Both of those things keep me passionate. I know there's an out if I do it graciously and appropriately, and I know that sometimes I have to sleep in the bed that I made.